Library mystery, mystery at the museum, mystery at the mall. Why are all these books named after where the mystery takes place? That just makes it impossible for them to have two mysteries in the same location.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
This book was written by Ellen Miles. First off, we need an excuse for all the babysitters to be at the mall, because it's not like teenagers normally visit malls on their own, am I right? We're told the middle school now has short takes classes. They're called short because they never last more than a book. Each class deals with a different subject. For example, in the math class, they learn about checkbooks and mortgages and the stock market. And why don't they learn about these things in their normal math classes? It sounds like it's great stuff to know. This month on Short Takes, all the kids are getting jobs. They work for 2 hours after school from Monday to Wednesday. I am shocked that Christy doesn't start a protest to get an exemption. The Babysitters Club is a 6-hour-a-week business. It should count. The club will probably go out of business now because none of the sitters can work for half the week. Plus, they've been struggling ever since Dawn left the club. Who cares about logic or continuity? Let's just force Shannon to cover for everyone. It'll be fine. Most of the girls get jobs that reflect their singular personality trait, like Claudia's art store and Marianne's pet store. For plot purposes, Christy gets a job at mall security, and Stacey works at a toy store. Stacey's boss is April, who has a 2-year-old son named Sandy. April warns Stacey about shoplifters in the mall. All of the girls, besides Jessie, get warned about shoplifters. This is 5 separate warnings about shoplifters in one chapter. I wonder if the shoplifters are going to be important. It turns out that parents in this town are just as awful as the ones back home. One mom abandons her 7-year-old son at the toy store while she goes shopping by herself. She doesn't even kind of care that he ripped open a bag of Legos. April doesn't care either.
I know, it's awful, but it happens all the time. And what can I do? It's not like there's any better place to leave a kid while you shop.
What can you do? Talk to the parents! Call mall security! Put up a sign! Kick the kids out! There are lots of options besides letting people treat your store like a dumping ground for unwanted children. And seriously, what's wrong with these parents? You shouldn't abandon your kids for hours at a time without any adult supervision. This is basic parenting, people! Mallory does story time at the bookstore. Of course, all the parents dump their kids and run. Mallory notices a trio of scruffy blonde kids who steal food from the others. April warns Stacey about shoplifters again and teaches her what to do in case of a theft. That day, someone steals a video game machine. Stacey didn't notice because she was too busy watching the boss's kid. I have no idea how the toy store stays in business, by the way. They seem barely able to function when Stacey and April are working there. Every other day of the week, there's only one person running the store. It's a recipe for disaster. Stacey realizes that the mall needs a daycare center. The BSC decides they can build one in the empty store by the arcade. All the store owners will pay for it. Surprisingly, the owners have no problem being volunteered to spend time and money running a second full-time business. The girls pitched the idea to Mr. Morton, the mall manager. He's a cool dude in blue jeans, and he loves the idea so much, he's only going to charge half rent. Stacey hears a commotion outside. She sees mall security chasing after the shoplifters. Hooray! Our heroes did absolutely nothing, and the criminals were stopped! Woohoo! High five, babysitter detectives! We're only halfway through the book, though, so the shoplifting continues. There are 2 different shoplifting groups now. One is stealing small items like brushes and hand towels. The other group is stealing big, expensive items like TVs and computers. Stacey sees a thief in the toy store stock room. He's wearing a ski mask and blue jeans. He tells her not to say anything. Then he pulls off his mask as he walks out the door. Stacey is a terrible detective, so she fails to notice what his hair color is, and she forgets that there's only one man in the mall who wears blue jeans. The babysitters talk things over and solve the mystery. Remember those 3 blonde kids who appeared once? They're secretly living at the mall. They steal small things to tide themselves over. It turns out their mother was hospitalized. They were supposed to go live with their aunt, but the aunt never showed up. Why not? Who knows? Who cares? Nobody really noticed or cared that 3 kids became homeless and lived in a mall for a month. Some old newspaper articles reveal that the mall is in terrible financial shape. It's Morton's fault. He does stupid stuff like put on free concerts, and he charges teenagers half rent to run a business without employees. Morton is the culprit. He's stealing things and then he sells them to prevent the mall from going bankrupt. Because he'd rather rob his own mall than cut back on unnecessary spending. How did this guy get his job to begin with? He's a total idiot. The book ends a week later. The mother is released from the hospital, so the kids can go back home and have a happy ending. Morton is no longer the mall manager. Was he arrested or fired or what? Finally, the owner of a cheese store quits his job to run the daycare center full-time. The end. Post-book follow-up. Remember the book with the baby egg project? This book retcons that and says it was one of the short takes classes. Apparently we have 3 more books that center around short takes. It's just such a convenient plot device to force the girls to do whatever the author wants. In previous books, I have been disappointed when the culprit is a person with an incredibly stupid motive, like Morton. Come on, I'm gonna rob my mall because that's easier than paying for the mall? I've also been disappointed when the culprit is a non-speaking background character who only appeared once or twice, like the kids. So both culprits in this book have problems. But the fact that we have 2 separate culprits kind of makes up for those shortcomings. It was interesting and different. I especially like the kids with their sad backstory. That was neat. Overall, I don't have any strong feelings about this book. People liked it because it takes place in a mall. Wow, how cool! And I guess it's a nice change of pace to have all of the girls in a new location for the entire book. I would improve things by changing Morton's dumb motive and eliminating the subplot about shoplifting teenagers, which is resolved halfway through the book, and it only causes confusion with the real shoplifting mystery. I give Babysitter's Club Mystery number 14, Stacey and the Mystery of the Mall, is it of the mall or at the mall? Give me a second here. At the mall. Okay, so I give Babysitter's Club Mystery number 14, Stacey and the Mystery at the Mall, a 5 out of 10. That's the average score, because it's pretty much an average mystery.